Hey there, welcome to a new episode of the Art Chains podcast. Here we talk about art, NFTs, and music on the blockchain. Together, we explore how artists, musicians, and content creators can promote their work and earn in the Web3 space. Thank you so much for joining us and have a nice listen. GM, everybody. Happy to have you back in this space again. This is Wednesday, which means it's art. It's an art change day or the art change day. I'm not sure how to say that properly, but anyways, yeah, this is a space that I used to call it Tezos Wednesdays before, and we were discussing Tezos topics, Tezos only topics, but we decided to expand, and nowadays we're sharing our knowledge and experience and perspectives about all the chains that where you can mint your art. So this is why we're calling our name is Art Chains. This is how we do it. Today is Wednesday, just like I said. Today, our space is dedicated to Solana, and where I'm super down to know and learn more about Solana space. I know something, but like I'm a complete noob about Solana space. So this is why I truly enjoy to discuss Solana in our spaces. So yeah, I'm pretty grateful for that experience. Um, today today we have super special guests in the room. Um, I really wanted to introduce all of them, so give me the second. We're also waiting for Jennifer. But yeah, actually, we have Leslie. I don't remember, Leslie, what was the last time you joined us? But yeah, I will, I will, I will ask you guys to introduce yourself a little bit later. Just wanted to quickly introduce you myself, and then you will do the same. Yeah, Leslie is a great collector, great soul, and I'm following her for a long time, and really enjoy her artworks and her voice in this space. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us, my friend. Also, we have Fidel, the man, the person I had a huge pleasure to speak publicly on the panel on NFT Bucharest IRL event. Fidel was a host of this event, and like, dude, I really want you to be like to be the host of all the panels and all the events, because your tempo, your pace, your voice, like your thoughtful comments and questions, like everything, like your control over the panel is like perfect, man. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm not sure like what chains you are active more most active on, but I bet you will share it in your introduction. Also, we have the great project that is called Pulsar. I'm not sure, guys, how to pronounce it well. Nico will help me out a bit later. A great project dedicated to AI, and I'm following them for a while. And first of all, as a brand designer, I enjoy your branding, guys. It's amazing. It's super minimalistic, and yeah, it's super recognizable. And also, they're building a lot of stuff, and I love their dedication to artist support. This is 100%. Yeah, I also wanted to share like so many things to introduce to start with. So yeah, um, let me also add that today's space is sponsored by ites.com, the service that with the help of this service, you literally can go and buy crypto with your bank card without any issues and stuff. They have all the necessary licenses for that. So go check out ites.com. Please drop them a follow just to let show some love to them, because actually they're helping us to collect more art on chain, which I'm super grateful for that. And yeah, guys, don't forget to drop your art in the comments section of this space. I'm collecting from there. Drop your Tezos art, drop your Solana art. I will definitely collect a few Tezos pieces from the comments, and I will collect a couple of Solana, because like Solana is a bit more expensive. So yeah, but anyways, soon we will be collecting even more. I wanted to say hi to my super duper special, amazing, and wonderful co-host, also my teammate, who is helping me host those spaces and organize all the projects. We are building. Caden, aka Nico. GM, my friend, how are you doing?
Doing well, Amir. Good to see you. I just want to welcome everyone to the space. Thank you for once again joining us for another Art Chain Space on Wednesdays. And yeah, I'm super excited to dive into Solana once again. As you know, Solana is my preferred chain of minting my little one's art on. So yeah, let's go.
So, yeah, just like I said before, we will jump into the conversation. Please don't forget to drop your art in the comment section of this space because actually, I think this is how this space actually started. We started collecting from the very beginning, like 2 years in a row. We're hosting those spaces and we're collecting, and we don't want you to miss this opportunity. So don't forget to drop your art in the comment section of this space. Thank you. Um, Ladies first, let's start with some introductions. And I really would love to hear from Leslie. Leslie, my friend, welcome to the space and please introduce yourself. Yeah, thank you.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. It's so great to be here. I rarely do spaces anymore, but I'm really excited to be part of this space. So it's great to see everybody. I'm Leslie. I think I know almost everybody here. I've been around in the NFT world since the end of 2021, and I love it, going nowhere. And I'm also proud to be part of the Solana chain. I love minting on Solana. It's fantastic. So it's like that happy medium between Tezos and Ethereum. And it's just, I absolutely love it. And I'm so happy to be here. I've been a photographer for about 35 years now. And so thank you so much for having me. It's going to be a great conversation. Wonderful guests that you have on here.
Just one quick question. Sorry. How many years you've been photographing? Sorry?
I'm old. I've been a photographer off and on for about 35 years. So I started in the 80s. So yeah, a long time, 1980s.
Wow. Just wow. Oh my God. We have a lot of things to discuss today. So, yeah, let me go to Fidel then. Fidel, my friend, please introduce yourself.
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me. I've only been doing photography 25 years, so I kind of feel like a newbie compared to Miss Professionalism there. No, I love her stuff. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me. Just want to shout out to everybody down in the comment in the audience down there. Just a lot of faces that I know, and I'm happy to know. I guess introduction real quick. I've been a photographer for a while now. Like I mentioned, I also teach photography at a university here in Italy, where I'm based. I spent a lot of my photography career in New York, where I moved a couple of months after 9/11. Actually, today's date. Rest in peace and never forget, and worked for a lot of fashion magazines, a lot of like photojournalistic work, a lot of Doctors Without Borders type research, international kind of pro bono stuff. Then I moved here to Italy about 9 years ago. I am half Italian, so I basically just came back home as I had been living in the U.S. for a while. That's about it. I started collecting in the NFT space. Well, no, I made some sales first. I got pretty big on some black and white nights collection, which is actually the number one black and white photography collection on OpenSea. So shout out to that. And through that, I started collecting. I have about 3,000 pieces now, I think. Mostly ETH. Tezos would be second. I guess the third would be a toss up between Sol and the Bitcoin and the ordinals, various other little tiny apps and sites that have popped up in the last 3 years. And now I do what I can for the community because I freaking love artists. I always have. So I raise money for the brunch by Fidel that I do, or the B&B by Fidel that I do, or various other galleries and foundation worlds and all kinds of different stuff. So if you're new to this space or you want to kind of get thrown into the mix and see what I'm working on, you can just, look at my page here at the top through the giant F there at the top of the screen. That's it, man. Thanks so much. And yeah, that panel in Bucharest was pretty banging.
Yeah, thank you so much for the introduction. We also have the Pulsar team. So, guys, please introduce yourself. I cannot wait to hear from you. Thanks.
Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me well?
Absolutely.
Amazing. This is Ro here. I'll be speaking on behalf of Pulsar today. A little bit about myself. I did enter the crypto space in 2019 and had quite a background in freelancing and, bouncing around several creative agencies in New York. Fast forward to now, I am now the community lead at Pulsar, which is an AI-powered discovery engine for NFTs. We did recently go back into stealth mode to focus our efforts in, implementing more social features. I don't want to take up too much mic time, but I'm sure I'll dive into that later in this discussion. But if you want to learn more, you can head over to pulsar.ai. It's in Pulsar's bio, where you can kind of sign up for V2 and learn more about what's to come.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And cannot wait. Actually, first of all, not really, really great to meet you. Thank you so much for the introduction. And we cannot wait to hear your perspectives about Solana and Solana collecting, Solana curating, and all of those things. So we actually finally have Jennifer as a speaker. And before she will start, actually, I wanted to say something. Actually, Jennifer, today, Jennifer was one of the speakers in some of the United Nations initiatives, and she's been a speaker. She was speaking about in the panel that was dedicated to Web3, like power of. Oh my God, Jen, please cover my back here.
Amir, you're so sweet. And thank you for coming and watching it. That was really very sweet of you. I appreciate your support. But first and foremost, let me say hi to all the friends. Hi, Nico. Hi, Leslie. Ro, it's been forever that I've heard your voice. I'm so sorry that I've missed so many of the spaces. I've just been kind of head down, building on my end, with the DAO and things. But yeah, I'm really excited to hear what you guys are up to. And Fidel, it's so nice to meet you. I've heard so many nice things about you from Janine Penn. I feel like we've crossed paths maybe in Collector's Corner, but I've not had the opportunity to really actually connect with you. So this is cool. And Tez, hello. Yeah, I'm a little bit, just kind of recuperating a bit from that panel discussion. It was incredible, and it was a panel of women who were representing Web3 and what it is that we do here in so many different capacities, right? Like there were panels on, for example, my panel was on community and organization, collaboration, and the DAO. Work that I've been doing, but there were talks about fashion, there's talks about music. There was just so many use cases for this that we were able to share our experiences about over the last few years and really present it to a global stage, because this is science. This is critical science. It's important science that we are participating in on a daily basis. A lot of it is obviously tied to art, but there is a lot of intersection with tech and science, and just thrilled that we were able to, be on record and put that out there, and it lives now forever in the United Nations. So shout out to everybody, like literally here, still showing up, still doing this very important work, because it is actually and absolutely shaping the current landscape and our future. So Amir, thank you for including me in today's panel talk. I'm sorry that I'm late. I just needed a little bit of a break, but I'm here and I cannot wait to have this conversation with you guys on Solana artworks.
Jen, again, congrats, massive congrats to you for participating in such a massive event and panel. Actually, I enjoyed, and I was quite. It was super interesting, to listen to hear so much perspectives, like which were super fresh to me. I met so many people, so many stories from all around the world, and so many actually Latin American women are into the Web3. I didn't expect that. Like I saw a lot of women from the Latin America, but yeah, that's like so many projects you guys are building, like so cool, so really cool. So yeah, let's start the space. I didn't start collecting from the comments yet, but right now I will ask the first question uh, to all my friends here in the speakers panel, and Nico will cover my back because I will go to trenches, right? Right. So yeah, Actually, guys, I like you have a massive experience in different fields of art, and I realized that many artists, like when I started, let's say I started my journey like 2 years ago or something like that, like a bit more. I mean, in the art space as a whole. Like before that, I've been working as a designer and I also been a musician, and I never actually really touched the ground of visual art, audiovisual art, and stuff like this. And 2 years ago, a bit more, I started the art space. I joined the art space, the Web3 art space, and I was like like a blind kitty, and I learned something. Let's say I learned something about Tezos art. I learned something about art in general and stuff like this. But one question still sits in my mind, and I'm still not sure what is the answer because I have my own answers to that question. But I really wanted to hear from you guys. Uh, as a collectors, why do you collect? What's your what ignites you to collect pieces of art on chain? Like, yeah, I will shut up here because I think this is enough to have this question opened enough, for all of you. I'm not sure who will start. Nico, please rule the game with that question. I hope it's clear.
Dude, you're gonna hate me, but you rug most of the way for me. My internet is super crap at the moment. So I'm gonna pass the mic to someone who actually could hear the whole question, and then I will jump in between all of that. So, guys, who would like to take the mic?
And guys, did you hear me?
Yes, I heard you.
Who?
Yeah, I heard you clear. I don't know what else to do with my money. That's why I collect.
Woo!
It's a long time. No, the reality is it's a long time coming. I guess I'll go ahead and start. Sorry if I cut someone off. Um, Man, I'm in my 40s. I still look good though, so don't hesitate. And I started collecting, man, in the 70s and 80s when I was a kid. I didn't want to get rid of anything. I wanted all of the versions. So from GI Joes to Transformers to baseball cards and football cards and vinyl and anything that came in multitudes of hundreds and different kinds, different colors. I've always been in love with remembering their stories, their names, where they come from, their rarities. Like I've always done that. Even now in my 40s, it was Legos in my 30s, and Beanie Babies 20 years ago, and now the little, the pops, the little bobblehead popple funk. What do you call them? Funk pops. I got like 30 or 40 or 50 of them here at the house. So when I got into NFTs, it just kind of seemed natural, because I've always had photos and photo albums and photo books, and I've always been able to spend a little here and a little there. But the the blessing, I guess, really came with selling. I would not have been able to collect what I've collected at this point if the community had noticed me first and bought up all the stuff that I was putting down at that time in 2021. So for me now, it's more of a thing that I do, not only because I love pretty things and ugly things and crazy things, but also because I love the creators, and I have an affection and a passion for people who are like-minded like myself, people who put things into the world, and make things from nothing and use their minds and their capabilities to create these things. So I started picking up NFTs, and then it was first photography. That's the majority of what I pick up, just because it's closer to me, to my heart and what I do. But man, the 3D stuff, the PFPs, the freaking, don't get me started on the Sunnies and the the version 2 crypto PFPs. Like I have so many, and I just like them. I just like showing them off to people. I've got I got like 4 or 5 TVs here at the house, and they constantly run the screensavers with all the art and all the NFTs, through all the drives that I have on Google and all that stuff. I just like showing it off, and it kind of feeds into other things. You begin to curate when you've collected for so long. You begin to teach photography when you've photographed for so long. So all these things go hand in hand, with the community, and so now it's a part of what I do. Hopefully, I'll be able to continue to do it. I love to do it, into my later years as well. To look back on my life and say, oh yeah, I remember that photographer. 20 years ago, I picked up this piece at a museum, or 30 years ago. It's just become a passion. That's why I collect.
That was like super original, I'd say. For real, Fidel. Thank you so much. You brought a lot of thoughts in my head right now. Actually, I didn't expect to hear a few things, and it's so cool. Just like I'm saying, it's so cool to learn here in those spaces. This is what I really appreciate. Um, who will be next? Let me ask Leslie. What inspires you to collect art? What ignites you? What's up?
Yeah, so it's funny because like I have never been an art collector really before. I collected artifacts and stuff like that, but not much. It was mostly stuff that was given to me, and so I never really was a huge art collector. And I actually swore I wouldn't be a collector when I came into this space because I saw my friends making all this money, and they were always broke, and so I'm like, I'm not going to do that. And then lo and behold, I got into some groups, and we started just supporting each other by buying work every now and then. And it became really difficult seeing art constantly every day, amazing art, and not to collect. So as I made sales, I would spend all my money back into the community. And then I started running out of money. So then I bought some ETH. Back at the time, it was ETH, and because I had to have certain pieces. And for me, I collect. I collect work that's beautiful, but what I really love to collect are pieces that actually activism kind of pieces that stand for something in this world that will make a difference. And those are the type of pieces that just really get me and that I love to collect. I love to collect pieces that just strike me emotionally and make me feel something. Those to me are the most important things. I do collect a wide variety. I don't collect a lot of PFPs and all that like Fidel does. Obviously, the one that I'm using right now, I did collect, and I collected a few others, but I really like to collect pieces that really mean something, and pieces that I love to collect from charities when they do, like Quake Aid and stuff like that. Anything that supports a cause, I love to collect for that reason. I love to collect from women that are showing, how can I put this? They're standing for something. So like for when the women of Iran were making their artwork and still are, and speaking out in that way, that's the type of work that just really, I just have to have. And it's just incredible. So I love powerful pieces. That's the type of work I like to collect.
Actually, yeah, Nico, please.
I was just going to jump in to save you. I thought you were somewhere trying to mint something. Yeah, Leslie, I've always admired. I see the collecting tweets, and I'm always fascinated to actually see what you've collected. I've seen some really, really powerful pieces come across the timeline, when you put out your little collecting tweets, and also some really stunning ones. So, you've got you kind of have like a flair when you collect. You've got your own unique style when it comes to the collecting part of it. So yeah, that's all I wanted to chime in. But Amir, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Nico. Appreciate that. And of course, I own some of Caden's amazing work. He's a genius, just a genius. And I love his work so much. I wish I could collect more. I can't always afford to, but just absolutely incredible little guy you have there. And you're an incredible father.
Thank you so much, Leslie. Yeah, you actually own a piece which you inspired and which you helped to actually create. For anyone who's not aware, my had a little bit a while ago obsession with destructive storms, and one of them was a tornado. And Leslie was kind enough to actually steer him, help him a little bit to understand what a tornado is and what it looks like and what colors it is. So, yeah, thank you very much for that. That was really such a special thing to actually watch the two of you actually connect and how he created off that.
You're so welcome. And I showed my family the videos and stuff. I mean, it just really got to me. He's just a precious thing. I just love him.
Thank you, Leslie. But this is not the Cadence show. This is the Change show.
I could go on and on, but I'm going to stop.
So can I. I can go on all day long about my little one, but we're not going to do that today. So who is going to grab the mic next?
I can chime in here, but before I do, I will say I did have the pleasure of learning about Caden's story as well, I think a couple months back. And we did collect 2 pieces as well. We were, really connected with the story that you shared with us, and we're really willing to support the journey that you both have. So yeah, if anybody in the audience doesn't know about Caden's story, head over to their profile and check it out, because it definitely is a story for the books. Now I will, transition into why do I collect art, right? And, I do collect art for a lot of reasons. For starters, I've always thought of myself as, a creative person, whether it's through visual arts or a love and passion for music. I also grew up in a very art-forward household. So I started as a classically trained pianist when I was about 6. My older sister had a passion for making mosaics. My dad is deeply rooted in design and architectural drawing. And, my grandfather was also a painter. He's no longer with us, but I do find so much joy in, exploring the ideas that he left behind on his campuses. And, my memories of him are quite few because I was pretty young, but, over the years, I've come to understand that, he had this really deep appreciation of life, right? And our universe. He viewed everything as part of this infinite, ever-changing journey, full of love, light, growth. All of these themes are pretty predominant through like all of his paintings. And what he really embraced was mystery and wisdom, which I love. And he used this medium to really celebrate experiences and, all of the surprises that our life has to offer, right? And I really do, relate to these ideas. And I think what makes art so fun is, as the observer, you kind of get to uncover, these hidden messages or ideas that the artist is trying to express without, slapping it in your face. And for me, it's almost like solving a mystery, right? So I think, being in this environment has definitely heavily shaped my own journey and passion for supporting art, culture, knowledge sharing in unconventional ways. But I think what I'm trying to say here is, I guess I'm more interested in whether we share similar ideas, right? Or if I'm resonating with what the artist is trying to communicate. Does their work push me out of my comfort zone? Am I learning something new by engaging with a piece? Now, if we're taking a look at art on chain, is it the idea that I'm connecting it with, or even a fresh approach? Like, are they exploring with new minting mechanisms? Like, am I learning something new here, essentially? So these are the kind of things I tend to consider when I'm collecting. And yeah, if I like what you're doing, I collect. And I see it as, one, as a thank you for not only inspiring me, but 2, as almost like a gift in return that can support the artist's growth and vision.
Guys, I don't want to ramble too much. Sorry, because I really want to hear from all of you. Like, I'm I'm so excited with that space with this company of speakers. I also wanted to quickly say hi to Verika, Jackie, and Gul. Guys, we will get back to you as soon as possible. But let's wrap up with the first question, which is super interesting. Jennifer, maybe you will chime in, like with the answer of the question. Maybe some people forgot. I need to remind them. Like, what ignites you to collect art? What inspires you, and why do you do that?
So I'll be brief because I know we have other friends on the stage. But similar to Ro, I grew up surrounded by an appreciation of art. My mom was a school teacher, but if you know New York City school teaching and the way that they're set up, we get a lot of like perks. So you get deep discounts on like museums and galleries and cultural centers, and she definitely took advantage of that. So although we sort of had like more modest means, let's just say it that way. I felt like my upbringing was very rich culturally because she exposed me to a lot of those things. And whenever possible, you know, she would collect art. My grandfather also collected art in the Dominican Republic. So I've been around art, but it really was when I got into this space. And mind you, I studied history, and part of that was art history. And I did travel and I did get exposed to like a lot of cool museums around the world and things of that nature, but it really didn't cement. I didn't really consider myself a true collector until I entered this space, right? And the way that I view collecting crypto art is similar to the way I just see it as a different way of collecting it. So many of the people that I collect crypto art from, I wind up collecting physical prints from, I wind up collecting original artworks from. Um, so the thing about like the why is that I believe that art is the universal language. It is the one thing, one of the few things actually on this planet that requires no actual spoken language. It's a feeling. So a lot of the times when I see something and it speaks to my insides, that's when I know that I need to collect it. And the way that I collect is completely like diverse. I collect abstract art. I collect black and white, minimalism, maxi color. Like as long as it speaks to me in some way, or alternatively, if there is a story being told either through the art or about the artist, that usually resonates with me. Other things that I do like are projects where there is like a goal intended. So I'm thinking of one of the fellow panelists that I was speaking with, Rainbow, who is an artist on the autism spectrum, like Caden. She is trying to raise funds to publish, you know, a new book. So, you know, like if there's a utility or a mission and there's something behind it too, I almost always will go behind that project and support in whatever way possible. But if I had to say like what the main thing is does the art speak to me? And you know, I'll collect street art, I'll collect photography, I'll collect whatever medium it is where I can tap into that sort of shared universal truth, that shared human experience. That's what I'm going to probably aim for when it comes to collecting art.
I wanted to add something to like I wanted to echo something that Jennifer just said. Like about a language from my perspective, you know, I see I feel like I started enjoying art because of the fact, not because of the fact, is it beautiful enough or not, you know, is it professional enough or not. Like I don't believe in those terms still, in terms of art. And I like I see how words fail, you know, how our spoken language fails from like every time for thousands of years. Like we're having those wars, we're having those, I don't know, hatred and all this ugly stuff, just because actually we don't understand each other well enough. And you know, like the opposite side of what I see of things, like just remember, I don't know, music festival, when someone is like, I don't know, like singing something and the whole crowd of, I don't know, 100,000 people are singing with that person in the same feeling and stuff. or when a lot of people are watching a piece of art like and enjoying it, discussing that, like sharing opinions and communicating around this art, like see the difference how art can unite people, just like Jennifer mentioned. Like it doesn't matter what language do we speak, like it's like it doesn't require any language usually, and it can still unite people. I think that art like actually skips this critical side of critical area of our brain, and speaks directly to our hearts. And this is why I call it universal, an universal language, to of communication for people. So yeah, that was my 2 cents, and I actually forgot who. I think we asked all of our first speakers, let's say first round of speakers, about this question. I also wanted to welcome Viorica, Jackie, and Gul. Viorica and Jackie, they're hosting amazing spaces at Wednesdays as well. I'm not sure if you guys are hosting some other spaces. And also we have Gul. We had a great conversation together in NFT at NFT Bucharest with Gul and Fidel. And yeah, Gul is also an amazing artist. Actually, guys, please let me ask you to introduce yourselves before we will move to the next questions. Let's start with Viorica and then other friends. Viorica, GM, who are you?
So nice to be here. Thank you so much, Amir, and everyone in this space. I'm really, really happy to be here. And yeah, we just finished our space with Jackie right now and just switch on this space, on your space, Amir, of course, because you have always interesting conversations and actual questions on the moment. So, what is the question for today?
Yeah, the first one is ended, but I have
Okay.
some, I have some more, so don't worry about that. So yeah, thanks for the introduction, Jackie. What's up, GM? Please introduce yourself, my friend.
Sorry, Viorica, that he interrupt you. So hi guys. We not finished our space. We rocked. We rocked. Oh my God. But yeah, we're happy to be here. So what was the question? The next question. I want to answer, but I don't know the question.
Nobody knows, only me, only myself. So don't worry. You're good. You're good. Gul, GM, my friend. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, Amir. I'm actually a photographer. I just wanted to say hello today. And I really happy about Bucharest team is together again. We were all speakers on the same stage. Amir and I, Fidel. Fidel was the moderator, the panel. It's so it was so fun for me, and nice to meet you again. I live in Istanbul, and I'm a photography, cinema, and art trainer. Maybe 16 years in Istanbul, and sometimes another country. Yes, I am an artist, and I have, I guess, I almost 3 years here, and I really love here because I have so many great friends here too. I'm really grateful, Amir.
Let's go. Thank you so much. Yeah, Gil, really enjoy your photography, and yeah, thank you so much for joining us as well. Yeah, we're moving to the next question. Um, Give me the second. I will check out what was there. Brum, 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 brum. So I wrote them down, but I lost them. Give me the second. Yeah, this awkward moment when you're losing your
Well,
questions.
I'll tell you what, while you're looking for your questions, I will finally also answer the question you asked. I do collect, but I collect for Caden. He normally sits with me. Believe it or not, my kiddo over the last 3 years has accumulated close to 5,000 NFTs. There's a lot of free mints. There was a lot of NFTs gifted to him within the last year or so. Every month we actually give him some of his proceeds, and he then takes it and he goes and collects what he likes to collect. Over the last month, he seems to have been drawn to photography. He actually collected his first photography piece about 3 weeks ago. And I've never ever seen anyone in my entire life so excited to collect a piece of art as my little one. So yeah, he does collect, and I do predict that he is not ever going to stop, because he has just been opened up to a whole wide world of inspiration. I've seen him collect stuff which he's drawn inspiration from and actually created pieces while he is actually looking at the piece that he just collected. So yeah, my little one, he does collect. Dad personally does not really collect. He collects for cadence sake. So it's always something that I see that I know that will, inspire him, or something that he will look at and be like, wow, I'm happy I have this.
Nico, actually, thank you so much for chiming in and sharing your perspective. So sorry for that, but I truly forgot you, man. And yeah, I'm really happy that you shared. Um, yeah, this is really cool. And I actually found my next question. You know, some of you guys actually shared um, some part of answer to that question. To the next one, like, but I really wanted to ask you again, like, more. Can you please formulate how exactly do you choose pieces? Uh, are you thinking a lot about the, I don't know, the mastery? Are you thinking a lot about, is that, I don't know, like, your collecting style, is that piece fits to your collecting style, or not, or something like that? Like, how do you choose pieces to collect? Yeah, Viorica, let's go for you, and then to the next friends.
Yeah, thank you for sorry for these questions, because I just was thinking about this the last few days, and it was really interesting for me to discover for myself, because I think the interaction and the connection between people is the most important thing for me, because I doing some shield threads as well, so on spaces as well, and yeah, I have collected only on object almost 1,000 of pieces, and on foundation as well, on on a region. So I have a few on different platforms. But what is important for me, is the connection, of course, because when I see some pieces that I really connected, visually, when I see it and I really love it, I really bookmarked it, and I left it, for myself, like, oh yeah, I want to look at this. But when I see some piece that I also connect with my soul, and also I connect with the person that made this piece, it's the most important for me. So the really is networking between the artist and the collector is the most important thing, because even if you are creating beautiful pieces, you are just a master of what you are doing. But if you don't have the connection, you will possibly will not have that sales. So I want to say the networking, the connection, the meeting, the friendship is the really really important thing. And it's not only um, about the friendship, not, but if it's much together, it's the more chance that you will have the sale, if you will have the connection with your art, if you will have because we are meeting not only with the piece, we are connecting with the person who creating this. So the networking is really really important for me. Yeah, I just realized this. Even if I'm not active last weeks, because I have now my new real job and I have no time to connect with everyone, and I'm so sad about this. And I realized how much the connection and the networking is important in Web3. But still, I think this is a really important thing. Thank you, Amir, for the question.
Thank you for the answer and for your perspective. We have Jennifer with the hand raised. Please go, my friend.
Yeah, I was just going to add that I do believe that having some background information is great when it comes to, selecting art. If you have an actual acquaintanceship, and certainly if you have a friendship, it's going to deepen that sort of connection between collector and artist. And I think the space, it does a tremendous job of creating a culture, and also sort of like a space that lends to that happening in a very organic and good way. But I do think that for me, a lot of how I collect, like the way that I collect, the frequency, why I go for a particular style or theme versus another, is kind of like how if you turn on the radio and you feel a particular way, you gravitate towards certain music. So like if I'm feeling particularly like nostalgic or moody, then I'll go for like maybe jazz or maybe softer music, or maybe like music that'll speak to the mood that I'm feeling in that particular moment. Or the opposite, like if I feel like dancing, I'm going to put on some Bad Bunny, or, like something that like really livens up the mood. And I think that applies also to like the visual arts and the collecting style that I have. It really depends on where I'm at and where I meet that particular artwork. And I will say that given the language issues that a lot of our friends have in the space, not being native English speakers, or not being comfortable speaking, period, right? Like actually not being able to get up on a stage and presenting who they are and presenting the artwork and why they made it. I do think it's really important for artwork to be strong enough to stand on its own, so that I can connect to it regardless of me being able to have an acquaintanceship or a friendship with that person. Is it a plus? Yeah, it's beautiful when you can develop further relationships with people. Like I'm thinking of Nico and my relationship with him and his family, and our family, and it's beautiful when you find that. It's remarkable, and it definitely compels you to want to support that artist even more. But I do think it's also important for us to apply the same sort of eye that got us here to begin with, that got us collecting, that got us to be as curators, to just be able to just discern if something is good to you or not, off of whether it's good to you or not, without having to have any extra things attached to it, if that makes any sense. So I just wanted to just add that to the convo.
Really love it. And we also have Gul with the hand raised. So please, Gul.
Yes, I want to answer your question. This is so hard for us, choose pieces or mint pieces. It's always hard to choose. In the past, we talked about this with Leslie before, Leslie probably remember. I usually work on projects, for example, ballerinas or minimalism in different country or city, and I make collections of 3 or 4 pieces. I also, I guess, choose my for example, minimal projects in a way that they will have a linguistic integrity. Similar works, I am a bit, I guess, obsessive about this. I guess I have no idea. I don't want to mint or list everything I shot. I'm really selective about this. I have my own filters, I guess. because content and technique are important for me, because of the respect I have for both my art, myself, and the audience or viewers. And that is why I don't mean too many works. The collection should be constant within itself. In other words, we go to, for example, we go to an exhibition under a general theme, that is how it should be. People, when people look my page, for example, Solana or something, exchange or foundation, it doesn't matter. It should be, uh, look like this. I'm really obsessed. I accept it. In fact, I have terabytes of archives, maybe, but there are maybe thousands, maybe millions of works in different styles that I haven't shown or listed. But this is always hard job for us. I'm sure other friends, think same with me. Maybe I don't know if this could be bad for me. For example, I don't put the works I do, in illustration in the same collection as photography, or I don't put the works in different styles in the same collections. I'm very, very, bad person about this. Amir, I want to say this, I'm obsessive. I hate myself
Uh-huh.
sometimes about this.
Yeah, yeah, I can completely understand that. Uh, and actually, I think that Leslie and Fidel, you guys share that a bit, but maybe you have anything to add to that question, like how exactly do you choose pieces to collect? Maybe sometimes you have some strategy, because I'm not sure, Fidel. Maybe you can share that. I bet that people should have some, I don't know, some plan, let's say, when collecting PFPs. At least I've been thinking like that for 2 years. Like, for me, PFPs are mostly, I see them as pieces for trading, like something to trade, but maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, guys, if you have any additional perspectives about, like, how do you choose pieces to collect, please feel free to share. If not, I have another question to you. Another question to you.
Do you want to go first, Fidel?
I mean, I probably shouldn't because I have absolutely no strategy whatsoever. I got
Either.
it's things look cool, man, and things are pretty and things are weird. I just like stuff, and not stuff like in a hoarder type of way, but I'm probably not the best person to answer that question. I like knowing and owning and the stories behind things, and there's no real rhyme or reason. Some are just weird. Some are because of they're colorful. Some are, moody, and maybe I'm pissy or dark. I go into dark, alone periods and I'm sure a lot of creators in here understand that, where you have times where you want to show off everything you do and be loud and cool and fun and colorful. And there are days you just want to, like, lay in the bed and hide under the blankets and won't even answer the phone. If your parents call, you're just like, I don't want to talk to nobody. So those pieces that I collect, I won't talk about the collectible side of things, like comic books and those kinds of things, which I also enjoy, but those pieces all speak to me in some way. There's a reason I don't own pottery. There's a reason I don't own musical instruments. Not that anything's wrong with any of that by any means, but I don't have a passion for those things. I don't feel a connection to those things from my youth or anything like that. I feel a connection to when people draw. I can't draw. And so when I see things that are drawn, they just seem 10 times harder to me, So I collect that because I'm a photographer. I push a button, I collect the light, and I make a scene, and then I frame that into one instance I don't know how to create things from scratch. When I see buildings and architecture and cool, glass things, and when I see 3D designs and musical collaborations and remixes, and I love all the creativity behind that. But unlike one or two of the responses I heard earlier, the artist doesn't matter to me. I mean, that came out wrong. The artist matters to me as a person. I like people. I don't like assholes. So if you're an asshole, I'm probably not going to get down with you, regardless of how popular you are, how much work you got out, how rare your stuff. I don't give a shit about any of that. I like people that I like, and I don't like people that I dislike. But as far as the work, I would buy a piece from someone I never met or never knew or never heard of. I own work by pieces I'm never going to meet, like Marina Abramovich, like Sting, like celebrities and things like that, like Jim Carrey, just because that mood or whatever they put into that work is something that I can relate to. But I have PFPs as well. I don't buy anything expecting anything to be worth anything, because the reality is we're just selling photos of images and digital. Shh, don't tell anybody. We're selling JPEGs. Okay, that's the reality. Nothing, none of this should be worth anything. Let's just be real. Whatever it's worth, you say it's worth. Whatever money you put on the table, that's what it's worth. But I don't believe I've ever bought anything thinking, oh yeah, in 6 months this would be worth something. In 10 years this would be worth something. I have photos by my daughter. I have photos by my brother, by my fiance, by my family, by cousins, by 10-year-olds. There are 10-year-olds and 9-year-olds in this space that make drawings and paint with their thumbs and stuff like that. For me, it's all about collecting that thing and just saying I know the history behind it or I know something about it. But do I have to have a relationship with all of the creators? I do not. Do I have to know any of them? I do not. It's nice when I do, but for me it really is simply, I have a little bit of money to spend on my passions, thank the Lord, and I like things that either look cool or make me feel a certain way. I guess it's that simple.
Brilliant answer. And yeah, thank you so much for the perspective. Again, you ignited a couple of new thoughts in my head for a second time during this space. I'm grateful, man. Thank you. Leslie, it's your turn, please.
Yeah, so I mean, I touched on a lot of this in before in the other question, but and it's I will say that photography, since it's my passion, that is something that always draws me to it. So I'm always looking for great compositions in photography and just brilliant photography. I'm looking for great photojournalism pieces because that's my ultimate passion. So anytime someone is putting out photojournalism pieces, if they're great pieces and if I can afford them, I will collect them. But I will say that I don't usually, I'm like Fidel, I don't really always have a strategy. I will do some shield tweets, and they will be based upon a certain theme. Like sometimes it's going to be black and white, whether it be photography or any type of art. I will post activism type tweets. I will post a variety of different genres and subjects and stuff like that, and I'll collect a lot from those tweets. Lately, though, I am like Fidel. It doesn't matter if I know you as an artist or not, as long as you're legit. I've actually been trying to discover new artists lately to collect from. So I've been making it a point to go in and I haven't had as much ETH and all that lately, or Sol. I've been collecting on Sol a little bit, but not as much as on Tez, just because I've had more Tez. But I will go into Object and I will search for all the new things that are coming up and different genres and stuff like that, and try and discover new artists that way. And I've discovered some really brilliant artists, and I've also rediscovered some artists that I haven't collected from in quite a while, like Damla. Damla, I forgot about. There's so many artists, that you you forget sometimes about these artists that you fell in love with, and because so many new people are coming in and so many other artists and stuff like that. And I rediscovered Damla, and I had to collect several pieces from her because she's just a brilliant photographer. And so that's the type of stuff I collect. And again, like I said, I collect pieces that mean something to me, pieces that stand for something, whether some sort of cause, political or non-political. Just if they try to make the world a better place or try and make people realize what's happening, those are the type of pieces that I definitely will always love to collect.
This is like actually Dan. I have to mention that you have to check Taya's artworks because she's sharing like post-war Bosnia in her photo journey. She's in the speakers panel right now, and she's my wife actually. So I have to shield her. If you know, you know. So yeah, please check her out.
I will definitely check her out.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel shy a little bit because it's not a shilling space, but I'm shilling. But anyways, whatever. Ro, maybe you have anything to add to this question, or if not, we can slide to the next one.
Yeah, I can certainly contribute to this. So, I do collect art both personally and then also through different initiatives with the Pulsar Vault, right? So, I guess on a personal standpoint, I do find art through, word of mouth, social apps, whether it's from, creators I already follow or new ones that pop up thanks to our algorithms. But like I mentioned before, for me, a piece has to really speak to me and stir up some sort of emotions, right? I've set reminders for auctions of pieces I absolutely wanted and kept bidding until I won. Sometimes I've minted or I've set alarms for when a mint is about to go live. And I also discover new pieces that are about to drop through, closed DM groups. And I kind of like this because I have more of a sense of community and shared morale with other collectors that follow a certain artist, which kind of influences me to want to get involved. So, maybe I'll hear from the grapevine that if I have minted something that will grant me access to another piece of work that will only be available if I held the previous piece. I don't know if that made sense there. So almost like token gated content. And not only for on-chain works, but sometimes for holding an on-chain piece will grant me access to a physical item that I would like to collect, whether it be a physical print through a burn to claim or an actual coffee table book, things like that. So those are some of the things I consider.
Thank you so much. Really happy that you actually add all of that. And yeah, Nico, please. I've been missing you, man.
Dude, yeah. No, I love what Rose said. Like I said, my little one, he has got quite a collection. And some of the pieces he actually have, even though they were gifted, I'll add that in as well, because there's no ways that I would ever be able to afford them. But they were actually gifted linked to the physical piece that was created with them. And I know Caden, he's a very hands-on kind of person. He it took a while for him to understand the whole NFT thing. He is getting there, but he paints, he creates physical items. So for him to actually have a physical piece, and now it actually resonates a lot more because now it's like, okay, I've got a physical and I've got something online that says I own this physical. So, to a certain extent, whenever we've been able to, when there's something he really, really likes, I know there's one specific piece that we actually did buy, and it's because Caden just, he just, that piece spoke to him. It's hanging on in his room above his bed. It's his pride and joy. He literally looks at it every single day. And he's got the NFT to that as well. And I know whenever we go and browse through his NFTs, which we do twice a week by clockwork, don't miss a day, we go to that piece first. And then he wants the physical to come and sit next to him so that he can look at the digital and at the physical. So I really do resonate with the collecting aspect of collecting something with the idea of having a physical that is linked to it. Yeah, it is something that very much resonates with me when it comes to the collecting aspect of things.
Actually, when we're talking about when we are talking about physicals, I have a huge questions to that because like in April this year, I had an open collaboration with my musical piece, my song, my very first song, Lemons, and with all the friends who were willing, to collaborate with me with their visual art, and we made a few pieces, like, and then I don't remember what was that, but I don't remember the rules of this of this initiative. But in the end of the day, I decided to select a few winners, and with the help of few judges, curators, we selected a few winners, and I think four of or three or four of five winners, they were from Iran. And actually, I the prizes were physicals, and it was impossible, like literally impossible, to send anything to Iran from my country, from Bosnia, and that was a huge problem because I think that you are not able to send like physicals from some countries, for example, to Russia, to maybe Venezuela, and some other parts of the world, because of the political issues and stuff like this. And actually, I have a lot of questions because I believe that connecting Web3, let's say NFTs, with real world assets, it's quite revolutionary and it's incredible. But like, is it even possible? That's the question. And I think, Nico, we're planning to host the space about real world assets. Am I right? I think so.
Yes, we are. That is for anyone who's interested, not next week, not the week after, it's the week after that. So in 2 weeks' time, we will be hosting a space focusing on real world assets linked to their on-chain assets. But yeah, let's focus on what we're doing right now. Let's not jump in. So yeah, Amir, I don't know if there's anyone else who actually wants to weigh in on the current question, or you want to move
I
on?
want to move on because I think we we spent like enough time on this question. So let me, yeah. Actually, again, as a guy, as a person who is really deeply into branding, I heard a lot of thoughts and ideas. That's my another question. That's my next question, by the way. I had a lot of ideas and thoughts and perspectives about like collectors want artists to build brand. Is that true or not, guys? I really want to hear your perspectives here. Do you really care about the branding, about the brand of the artist? How do you feel about that? What do you see behind this? And is artist's brand really matters anything to you? And if it is, then how do you recognize that? Let's start with Nico. You please decide.
Oh, wow, thank you. Let's start with Ro. Ro, Mike's all yours.
Alrighty. So, yeah, do I check an artist's brand before collecting a piece? I believe was the question. Um, you know, I think a certain level of cohesiveness plays a part, but I haven't consciously, thought about checking an artist's quote unquote brand before collecting. I guess it does happen to some extent. I definitely, like to learn more about the artist's history, how their work has evolved, any collaborations they've been a part of. These things do help me gain a better understanding of their overall journey. But I'm not quite sure if this always plays the decisive role in, my ultimate choice. But I also don't really like to view artists as brands. I kind of view them more as people. I think those are my key hot takes.
I love it. And actually, I have so many things to add here, like brands, like people, and stuff like this, because it's really important. But I really, Nico, please mute me and let's go to our speakers. Please, please. I cannot mute myself. Please, help me.
Dude, I can't mute you either. You're the host. It's not going to work. But anyway, anyone else who wants to take the mic next, please feel free.
I'll go real quick because mine's brief. Absolutely not. I could care less about brands. So, mean nothing to me. It's all about the art for me.
Awesome. Thank you, Leslie. Fidel, you want to take this one?
Yeah, I don't, man, I don't think it's that simple of a question, to be honest, because we live in a time where you're not just one thing anymore. You're not your name. It used to be your name was your bond and your honor and your promise and your religion and all these other things. I think people can become other things. For example, I don't consider myself a brand, but it would be foolish of me to say that people don't recognize the things that I do by the big PFP in my name, or by Fidel everywhere, or brunch by Fidel. Like, obviously people hear that and know I'm associated with, but me personally, I'm not a brand. So I think the best answer I can give concisely so we can move forward is I don't believe the artists are brands. They're human beings, and they have character and personality and lives and experiences that come along with that. But I believe once you start to become bigger or more worldwide or more of a global thing, or branching out, for example, into various iterations of what you do. For example, if you're, X copy size or B pull size, or even, not to float anyone's boat, but some of the people in here, have gotten to that size. Even myself, when you start to handle various other events or functions or merchandise, or like the penguins, then those things become a brand, but the person is still the person behind that. Like Jeff Bezos is not Amazon, but Amazon is obviously a brand because it covers so many things that has to be renowned. But he didn't have his name on all that, and if it fails or goes up or down or whatever, he personally isn't associated with that. It's the brand that it has become. So the same with all of us. I think we become, or we create things that become brands, but we're not brands ourselves from an artist's point of view.
Uh, I don't remember if we asked Jackie or Viorica, guys. Do you is yeah? Do you remember the question?
Yes, yes, we remember the question. So, I'm just thinking, okay, first of all, I'm not a big collector, and I can tell you, like, point of view of artists. And you can say if artists have a personal brand or not. Uh, it is like a personal how to say personality. Personal brand is personality, first of all, because it's human, it's art, it's something that you put inside your art when you create something behind it. So you can call it personal brand. It's a lot of stuff in it, in this phrase, and I believe it's really important for artists, because it helps to feel your art. When you feel your art, you can grow it. This is my opinion, my скромная opinion.
Yeah, that's your humble opinion. No worries. We're all having our humble opinions, and we're actually here for that, to hear all of those. And guys, actually, I'm sliding to the next, like, you inspired me to ask this question. When I started my Tezos journey, I was like, we were discussing a lot of things in those spaces with different people, and many of people uh, were trying to convince others that like every artist should have his or her signature style. Like everyone should stick to his or her unique style, let's say, or branded style or signature style, doesn't matter. And it's still hard. It's still really really hard to me to do so as an artist. I create a lot of stuff like on the background, but I never share anything. And to me, it's always been a super hard task, to stick to something like, I don't know, like for example, street art or doing some hardcore music or something else. It's really hard to me. And how do you feel about that as a collector? Do you really want to see like the similar? I don't know. I don't want to be rude here. I want you guys to understand me well. Do you really care about the signature style, or you don't? Let's start with Viorica, and then we will go to Leslie. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Amir. This is the question that always, this is so actual to me because I am as an artist. I'm not dissimilar in this style, and I was never learned to be an artist. I was it from my childhood, and I was learning for myself. And I love music. I love to sing. I love to play guitar. I love to draw. I love everything that is near to with the art. And I sometimes I feel like I can do everything if I want. So for me is the very important questions because I don't have the similar style of the art in the different platform, even if in one platform I have a different style because I want everything to know about the art. I want to study, I want to learn, I want to try everything that I can do, what can help me to express myself in the art. So the words like an artist should have the style art is very hurtful for me because it's not about me, and I really want to call myself as an artist because I do it for all my life, so I don't think it's important. For me personally, it's not important. Even if it's more interesting than you see an artist that is trying a lot of things, that is express himself and a lot of things. And yeah, if you see the artists that are stable in the style in the he's doing great job and amazing artworks with the different meanings, with the expressing of the something deep meanings of the art. It's really cool, but it's not really matter for me if the artist trying different apps, trying different programs, I don't know, tools to express themselves for as artists. I really try to understand what artists want to tell with the art and what the art is about and how it's realizing. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you too for the perspective. And yeah, we have also Leslie with the hand raised. My God, sorry, my English is broken.
It's all good. Yeah, so I think what you're speaking more to would be genre, because I think your unique style will travel across all the different genres that you do if you experiment. Take, for example, Ghoul, I see the heart. I was actually going to use you as an example because Ghoul does different genres within photography, but you can tell by her style that those are Ghoul's works. Even if it's a minimalist piece, even if it's a ballerina piece, even if it's an AI piece, you just know that that's Ghoul because that's her style. And it doesn't matter the genre she's, putting out there. That was one of the biggest things that I feared coming into the space, and I would ask collectors about was because I am a multi-genre photographer, and it was like, is this going to hurt me? And ultimately I said, I don't really care because this is who I am, and I'm going to be true to myself, and I do different genres within photography, and I'm going to continue to do that because I'm going to be who I am. And as a collector, that is how I feel as well. If you are able to produce different genres and styles, and your style comes across within these, and your style is amazing, I'm going to collect you. I collected different types of Ghoul's works. They're all amazing, and so that doesn't bother me one bit. I think we, as creatives, we have to get out of our box and try different things. Otherwise, we become stagnant, and we can't do that. And at least for me, and I think for a lot of other people. And so I have no problem with that whatsoever.
This is like those perspectives are so healing for me personally. And yeah, let's go to Ro. I have so many things to add, but yeah, I invited you guys to speak, not not to listen to myself. Ro, please, I'm shutting.
Well, Leslie actually took some of the words right out of my mouth. I think this is a really interesting topic. And, I personally do know some artists that use different aliases to express, different parts of their persona, right? They channel various aspects through these separate identities. So I think maybe identity might be a better or a fitting term than brand. And another thought that came to mind was, change is a natural part of growth. And I think it can be really tough for artists to keep boxing themselves in a particular way, similar to what Leslie was saying before. To evolve, you have to be able to step out of your comfort zone. A new idea might look very different than what you produced 6 months ago. While it can be risky to move away from an established signature and identity, I think exploring new ideas can actually be quite exciting for me as a collector because it means, I'm experiencing something fresh, new, innovative, and like a new part of this creative's journey, right?
Cool. I'm just going to jump in here because I think my host is somewhere in the trenches. I absolutely also love this topic. And yeah, I don't think artists should just bound themselves to one idea. I mean, this is all about experimentation, exploring, growing as artists. I know I keep on going back to Kaden, but if I look at what my little one does, he does not have one specific style. He is over the last 8 years, he's jumped from one thing to the next, and then he revisits some of the styles that he did in the past, and he goes back to something else, and then he sees something that someone else is doing, and he's like, that is absolutely awesome. I want to do that as well. And then he incorporates it into what he does. And strangely enough, by doing that, he's actually been able to grow his collector's base. He's added a lot of collectors to his collector's base, which probably would have never collected from him if he just stuck to one single style of doing something. So I personally, I'm all for experimentation, exploring, seeing where things can go. Besides, doesn't life just get boring if you keep on doing the same thing over and over and over? Okay, well, I will continue babbling because my host is clearly still somewhere else. Gul, I see your hand is raised. Mike's yours.
Oh, yes, I just want to say something, I want to say something, for example, Leslie, when it comes to documentary photograph in this field, the first name that, comes to my mind is Leslie, definitely. For example, if I were to make a publication or about documentary photography, I would, or some broadcasts, I will definitely invite her. I already invited her. You know, maybe 3 years ago. I have no idea. I forget, but I just wanted to say, when I think documentary photography, definitely Leslie. And I also love, Fidel's art. For example, the photos he takes of nightlife are his brand for me. I always remember Fidel nightlife photography. But I also love brunch and croissant, especially with Fidel too. I just want to add this. Thank you.
It's funny how my art went from nightlife photography to brunch. That's so funny. I'm going to take a second and jump in here really and say I've never met an artist who didn't grow at some point or change or fail or shift and mold into something else. Even the more classical painters and photographers and artists from hundreds of years ago had styles that shifted, that caused, I guess, as a cause of their life shifting and things shifting, the world shifting. So, from a artist point of view, from someone who creates from that point of view, I would say it would be a little unnatural to me if you didn't change over time, especially if we're talking about 10, 20, 30 years of a career. If you started photography last year and your photos haven't changed in a year, that's not what I'm talking about. But for example, Gul just mentioned nightlife photography. I haven't shot nightlife photography in 10 or 15 years since I left New York. But it just so happens that's what I'm known for in the space. I've done photojournalism work for 3 or 4 years, like Leslie and so many others. But I'm not known for that. But it doesn't mean I haven't done it. It doesn't mean I haven't molded and shifted into that. I've done pet photography, food photography, wedding photography. All forms of new multimedia that's coming out now. I've included AI and some things and used it to clean up images. I've used videos to do mass media pieces. But so in the last 25 years, I've changed, and I imagine most people have. However, from a collector's point of view, which is I think where the question is coming from mostly, it can sometimes be the difference between whether or not I keep collecting your work if you do change. So know as an artist, because you change and your life changes and your art changes, it doesn't necessarily mean that your collector base or your fan base won't change. For example, Kath Simard, I love her stuff. She does wonderful, wonderful landscapes of mountains and reflective lakes and just images from places I've never seen in my life. If she decided tomorrow to still be as professional and as good as she is at doing that, but started to do street photography, I may not like that. I may not like the direction she's going because I think that's not her style, or I don't like the way that she does it. But it doesn't mean she's still not a pro and very good at it. I might not collect that work because I liked her when she did mountains. You see what I mean? If Ben Zank started changing his style of kind of a body portrait art, nature, mix and match, crazy zaniness, and tomorrow started shooting weddings, I may appreciate the wedding photos that he's done. I may say that's a very well done wedding photo, but it doesn't mean I'm going to keep collecting that. So, as a collector, I will say to artists, know that that change is natural and will probably come for you, especially if you're, in your 20s, 30s, 40s now growing up. But realize that your change is not for everyone. And it doesn't mean that you're worse. It doesn't mean that you're amateur or mediocre at doing another medium just because you've decided to change it and you may not have those same followers. It simply means now you have to kind of reintroduce your new work to different collectors and to different people. Even in these 3 years that I've been in this space, I have people who collect my black and white nights. I have people who collect my street photography, my overseas Asia photography, people who have collected my memes. I make multimedia memes like Pepe, and I made the Punk 6529 memes. You know what I mean? Things I would have never done in my career, but I do now because I'm enjoying the technology. So I have collectors from all those different kinds of styles of the work that I've done. But you have to be open to that as an artist. You can't say, how am I not doing as much as I was doing money wise or popularity wise with these, underwater photos when 10 minutes ago I was making money and I was becoming popular for sharing my drone photos. You see what I mean? Or for sharing my dog photos. Just know that that change must come from your followers and your collectors as well.
Actually, yeah, the whole space is healing to me, to be completely honest with you, because this question like was really bothering me so much, and yeah, it was really hard to understand to me like how should I stick, like why should I stick to something like one, and be there forever, which is like it sounds impossible, and actually. Um, like we are about to wrap up the space pretty soon, and yeah, I have so many thoughts about this question like we're discussing right now, but we don't have like a lot of time for that. But and then like in the end of the space, as long as this is like Solana art space, I really wanted to ask you guys like the last question. Do you feel what how do you feel the difference between different chains like as a collector? Like for example, for me, when I'm collecting on Tezos, I regularly feel like somehow cozy, and I'm always trying to find some hidden gems. I don't know how to explain that better, but like on Tezos, I'm always in that mode of like digging, trying to find more, and trying to find something like I never saw before, I never seen before. On Solana, it's a bit different. Like for example, on Drip House, I'm trying to connect with artists first, secondary and second with their art. This is how it worked for me. Um, and on Exchange Art, it's a completely different experience. Like, and how do you feel about that? How do you feel collecting on Solana, and is that different to you from collecting on on other chains? I'm not sure who should be first, but let's start with Ro again. Ro, if you hear, if you
Yeah,
collect on Solana.
yes, I've definitely collected on Solana only for the Pulsar Vault. I think over the last year or two, the space has grown quite significantly in terms of the art community, and I've seen the quality of art on Solana really improve over time. I think, I don't know, I wouldn't say I feel different depending on what chain I'm collecting on. I think there is some, debate whether, you know, Tezos attracts a certain type of community versus Ethereum or Solana, for example. But when we fast forward to now, I feel like there's a lot of artists experimenting across multiple chains, and so everybody is across everywhere. I don't personally feel any different if I were to collect on Solana versus minting something from Ethereum. I wish I could be a little bit more insightful here, but I don't think the chain really matters. It's more so what it is I'm collecting and how the art is speaking to me.
Thank you so much. Actually, this is the perspective like that is completely different from mine, and I appreciate that so much because like we all sometimes sitting in our own heads, where we're seeing the world like limited a little bit. At least I'm talking about myself. So yeah, your perspectives are really insightful. Thank you so much, Verika. You have your hand raised, please.
Yeah, great question. I'm first of all, I'm an artist, and for me, when I collect, I really it's really matter for me because when I sell. more I sell, more I collect, more I can collect. Yeah, because for the first perspective, I'm an artist, and I'm a collector. When I can do it, when I want and when I can do it. So for me, I sell more on Tezos and on object. So for me, it's easily to collect on object, and I collect. More that I like, more that I connect with, but when I like something on Soul, on Exchange, Wallet Bubbles, and different platforms, when I really like something, I don't look how much I sold before. I just see if I can grab it, and if I can collect it, I just do it because I like the art. So for me, as an artist, it's a really matter where I sell more, and when I can collect more. So this is the factor, if I can say that. That is matter for me. Yeah, but I really like the work. I do everything that I can do for collecting it, and on other platform, even if I don't sell the artwork there.
Yeah, thank you so much, Verika, for that perspective as well. I also wanted to ask Fidel the same question, and then I I'm really curious to forward that to Nico as well. So yeah, Fidel, if you have anything to add here, please.
Yeah, this is a man. There's some good questions. Excuse me. This is one of those that could go on for a while. I'll try to keep it brief. I think we have to separate, like we did before with the question previous to this one. I think we have to separate exactly what the collector feels about the work and what the collector feels about the marketplace. Because I've probably, God, I don't know, at least a dozen different sites and marketplaces that I've been on with maybe 5 or 6 different variations of crypto, and coin and tokens to buy those things. Normally, from the perspective of someone who's appreciating the art, it doesn't matter to me where it is. I've been on Foundation, Makers, Super Rare, Nifty, Object, Tez, or Hickanunk before was Object, Solana places, Soul C, Exchange. Like it, I like the art. I'll find the art. If it's easy to grab, I'll grab it. If it's a little bit difficult to grab, I'll still grab it. I'll just complain about how difficult it is. But as far as the marketplaces, I think would be the second part of that question, because what we will all start to begin asking ourselves is what happens as marketplaces open and shut? What happens to the contracts, to the viability, and that may not be the correct word, the sustainability of that piece on that marketplace? Because I know 2 or 3 marketplaces that have come and gone, and you have no more access to that NFT because they didn't have the right contract, they didn't put it under a certain chain, yada, yada, yada. So as we move forward into space, I believe certain marketplaces will keep their more relative and more secure and more, sustainable kind of namesakes. Like OpenSea, we hate it. Why do we hate it? Because they did the artist dirty by not supporting all of the residuals and yada yada yada. But OpenSea has been there and it's always there, and it's the easiest place to go look at work. So will it survive? Is it easier to buy work there? Should I mint there? You see what I'm saying? Because the marketplace is there. Like Maker's Mark, which closed, like Sloika, which closed. You know, uh, if that work is still available to have, or if there's one marketplace that kind of takes over or aggregates all of the work that we can see where it never goes away, I think those will make the differences of where collectors collect. Right now, collectors will pretty much collect anywhere depending on who the person is. I think that's the real number one thing. If X copy goes and does work on a different chain, people will find him and they'll go buy it, and they'll find a way to do that if Beeple puts out new work. And you know what I mean? People will start to go and find these larger names. But in a year or two or three, when we realize that maybe the marketplaces have more longevity than, or maybe some marketplaces have more longevity than others, then I think we'll all kind of start to, go down the river and follow the ones that stick around more. So just to recap, does it matter to me where an artist has their work? No, as long as I can go there, I have the ability to get it, and it doesn't, take me logins and all this kind of crazy stuff where I miss the opportunity. Will it matter in 5 years where an artist puts their work? Yes, much, much more, because we'll start to look for personal contracts more. We'll start to look for longevity more. The same reason that the CryptoPunks are here after 10 or 15 years, when 99% of the other stuff that was minted in that same exact period has fallen by the wayside. So I hope that kind of brings it to light what I'm trying to say, all in a nutshell.
It is, and yeah, I really want to to make Nico shine some light on that question as well.
Yeah, of course. I do want to say I resonate a lot with what Fidel said now. You know, he asked why Solana. Dude, I've been building on Sol for pretty much almost 3 years now. Uh, was there when we did the magic number 8, when Sol went all the way down from 250 US for one Sol to $8 in a matter of a few hours, and stuck it out. And you know what? I would actually say I am super happy we did. Fidel, you're talking about, is it easy to collect work? Is it easy to access? Solana, only blockchain where you can literally, okay, besides not Farcaster, but on Twitter, you can literally mint a Sol NFT without even leaving Twitter. You literally click mint, you approve, and it's done. I absolutely love the tech that's being built on it. I love how platforms on Solana will actually go the extent to do seed funding. Great example is Drip House. They managed to raise $8 million in seed funding yesterday to continue building what they are building. There's not a lot of other chains where you actually see marketplaces doing these kind of things. So listen, I absolutely love Sol. I love the community. It's been through and through supporting what we've been doing. My little one has had probably some of his highest sales on Solana. Only followed by ETH and then ADA. But I mean, and okay, Tezos as well, probably. But no, listen, Sol it's the chain that I love. I love the community. Not saying that we don't have stuff on other chains. I mean, I've explored 19 different blockchains to actually mint on sold out collections on 17 of these. And another thing I resonate with what Fidel said is a collective, if he really resonates with what you're doing, they will follow. I've seen Caden has collectors that initially collected on ETH. They jumped from ETH to Tezos to Solana to Bitcoin to some of the other weird little chains which we went exploring. And it's just the cross pollination that it actually causes is actually amazing to see. I know very few artists actually understand this concept, but in order for this space to stay afloat, liquidity needs to come in. So if you bring a collector from one chain to a new chain, you're actually bringing liquidity with it, which flows into that chain. So that is kind of something which I've always strived to do, is to actually, cross pollinate. And I'm, not to brag or anything, but we've done it pretty successfully. But yeah, this is Solana will be home. It's the most resilient chain I've ever been on. I mean, very few chains will survive a crash like that and actually come back full swing, keep on fighting, never say die, let's go. Only on Solana. So yeah, those are my 2 cents. So I'll give the mic back to you, Maria.
And before we will wrap up the space, before we will start moving to the wrapping up, um, I wanted to say that I appreciate your perspective so much. That's the fact. I needed to pin it on top of the space, mentally. But actually, I wanted to um, nicely slide to promotion of our next space topic, which is quite surpriseful. surprising. Sorry. Next week, next Wednesday, we're planning to host an art space dedicated to Avalanche, aka AVAX NFTs. I have zero ideas about what's going on Avalanche chain. Is it actually about art? I don't know a thing. But anyways, guys, I'm super curious about that. I'm curious to know how NFT art on Avax chain is like living. What's going on there? We already have some super massive speakers from that world. So please go to the top of the space, see the pinned tweet, and please set your reminder to the next week's space. And yeah, in the end of the space, I really wanted to ask Nico and other speakers, guys, do you know anything about Avax NFTs? What's up?
Okay, there's that silence. I will jump in here. Yes, definitely know a lot about AVAX. Absolutely love what they're building there as well. Been minting on AVAX for probably a year and a half now. And yeah, I'm excited for next week's space. Super excited to see who jumps in. For anyone who's not minting on AVAX, definitely go check it out. It is worthwhile. They've got a super active, super supportive community as well. And yeah, it's a layer 2 on top of ETH, if I'm not mistaken. And mint fees are super low, which is great. So definitely go check it out. I know everyone is all about base and all that right now. But as I've seen over the last 3 years, very few of these things actually go full steam. I mean, they get to a point and then they just kind of wither down. So never put all your eggs in one basket. That's basically what it comes down to. But I mean, I'll give this mic back to you unless there's someone else who knows anything about AVAX and wants to jump in quickly.
Yeah, I'm down to learn. I'm down to learn because uh, I saw the community behind that. At least, I felt that when I was scrolling, like literally just, just Googling Avax on Twitter. Can I say Googling on Twitter? I have zero ideas. But anyways, I was like searching anything about that, and I was like, wow, it seems like this community is quite tight. They are doing some cool stuff, like the whole ecosystem. It looks like it works. So yeah, we have to discover that. And actually, Leslie, Fidel, Ro, Jackie, and other speakers, do you mint anything on AVAX, or maybe you collect anything on AVAX, or are you aware of that? What's going on? Please let me know. Feel free to
I
raise your hand.
I've
Yeah.
never collected or minted anything on AVAX. I do own some via Coinbase, but yeah. So I'd love to hopefully be able to attend next week and learn more about it because I really don't know a lot about it. I've seen some stuff going around about it, but yeah, I've never experimented over there yet.
Well, Leslie, you should definitely jump in next week because we've got one of your favorites. You used to co-host with him, crypto guy. He will be on our speakers panel to tell everyone all they need to know about AVAX. So definitely jump in.
Yeah, that's awesome. He's amazing. He was here earlier.
I got who you're talking about.
Don't worry, just come to the space next week and you'll know. That's all you need to do. Just come host.
I don't know why this sound, but I think it fits. I think it fits. Ro, Fidel, do you guys know anything cool about AVAX? Like to warm up the audience.
I got on AVAX, I think last year through some crypto that somebody else gave me, and there was an artist that I enjoyed. I went and got one piece. I think I have one piece on AVAX, maybe two. But I can tell you and the listeners that it's always cool to learn something new. So might as well show up for the tutorial.
Yeah, I'll
Roger.
certainly be setting my reminder for your next space. I personally don't have much experience with AVAX. Shout out any other chain, but yeah, personally, I haven't tried yet. But yeah, looking forward to the next discussion.
Yeah, thanks. Like the thing that I really love about our rebranding and our redirecting of our spaces is the fact that we are like discovering a lot lately, and this is why I feel like we are all here like for 2 hours, and we're chatting, and I'm actually trying to shut myself up to speak less, just to hear more about from you. um yeah, I really enjoy that so much, like digging into the spaces, uh, into the areas I have zero ideas about. Like it turns out super great because I'm staying like super tuned into the conversations. And I really wanted to say thank you a ton to all of you guys, excuse me, for joining the space today. I really I enjoyed this conversation so much. So we're about to wrap up the space. In the end of this space, I would love to ask all of you guys, like, quickly share the final words, whatever you wanted to share. Like, I don't want you to send me to hell or something like that, but anything else, please welcome. So let's start with Leslie. Leslie, I hope you're back. Actually,
I am. Yeah, it was difficult getting back and being able, I couldn't hear anybody, and then I couldn't request. So it was ridiculous. But I'm back, and I just want to say this was such a great space. Thank you for inviting me. All the speakers were fantastic. It's always great to be with you and Caden. I mean, Nico, sorry, Kate. I said Caden, but Nico. And yeah, it's been a wonderful space. And thank you, everybody, for all your great knowledge and everything else. And thank you to everybody that came here as well. That's about all I have to say.
thank you, Leslie, so much for joining. Thank you so much for collecting from my wife. Like, we're shocked. We're sitting and screaming while I'm muting myself, and our child cannot sleep before his school tomorrow. So yeah, it's all happened because of you, Leslie. I'm not sure if I should be grateful or I'm just joking. Yeah, thank you so much, really. And yeah, don't forget to drop a follow to Leslie because she's creating beautiful art, and she's a great speaker actually. So let's move to Gul. Gul, do you have anything to add in the end of the space?
No, thank you so much. I I forgot Nico or Caden. Oh my God, sorry. Amir, Leslie, all friends, Fidel. This was really great space, serious space, but funny space. Also, I really grateful. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you so much, Gul. And yeah, guys, please don't forget to check out Gul's profile and her artworks because they're really sick. Those photographs are really, 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 really professionally done, and like she spent a lot of time and effort doing this. So please don't forget to check out her profile, drop her a follow, and check out her artworks. Jackie, you've been silent for a while. Maybe you want to add anything in the end of the space, please.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm so happy that I jumped on your space. I'm so happy that my space was rocked. So I had an opportunity to join you. So yeah, great space, amazing people. Thank you so much. I will be there next Wednesday. I hope so. Thank you so much.
I hope that one day I will join your space, guys, because like usually in that time I'm preparing to my space, and like that's all I can say here. Oh my God, what's wrong with my tongue when I'm told when I speak English? Let me shut up again. And Viorica, please go for it.
Yeah, I'm agree with Jackie. I'm so happy that our space was rocked. Yeah, it's very funny. But I want to say that I'm so grateful, Amir, that we immediately what we jumped in the space. You just give us the mic, and it's really honor for us because we are here discussing so amazing. Topics, and you always made amazing spaces with great topics. So this is the second space that I jumped here, and you give me this opportunity, and this really was great. Thank you so much for listening. For my opinion, it was really interesting to express myself, to listen to another opinions, and this is so great. I'm so grateful to you, to everyone in this space for everything that you're saying, and yeah, please doing this more often because it's awesome. Thank you, thank you.
I wanted to say, "Pew, pew, 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 pew," in the end of your speech. And actually, thank you, guys. Please don't forget to follow Jackie and Viorica to join their spaces every Wednesday because they are doing a lot of cool things about art and stuff. So please don't sleep on them. And actually, Viorica mentioned pretty important thing right now. You said do it more oftenly, and actually today and the last couple of days, I started thinking that maybe I should host like daily spaces on them in the morning Europe time, like for I don't know 20-30 minutes, maybe to make them chill spaces or like quick chat GMs. I don't know, something like that. Please let me know in the comments what do you think about this idea. Thank you so much, guys. And we also have Fidel and Ro. And in the end of the space, we will have Nico with the final words. Let's go with Ro. My friend, do you have anything to add in the end of the space? Please go for it.
Sure. Yeah, honestly, just wonderful discussion all around. I just want to thank you for inviting us. I would also like to share that, we're always posting different opportunities to get collected on the Pulsar account. So if you haven't done so, please follow it if you want to check out, the different initiatives that we have down the pipeline. Amir, I believe you have already pinned an open call we have going on this month. So we are accepting submissions through the 20th. So there's about 10 days left to enter. And then there's also the Pulsar Vaults collecting initiative, and we feature guest collectors and curators on a rotating basis to acquire work. Amir, I think I've already chatted with you on the side, but I want to, continue the conversation about future acquisitions and having you as a guest curator. And for anybody else that's on the panel or listening, if you are interested in getting involved as a guest collector or curator, just shoot me a DM. I'd love to collaborate so we can shed more light on, different creatives that deserve more recognition in the space.
Thank you so much, Ro, for everything, for your time, for your perspectives, um for our conversation in DMs as well. Yeah, I really appreciate it so much, and we will definitely continue doing this. We will definitely uh oh my god, it's so hard. I'm falling asleep, so I'm so dumb. I really apologize for that. I just wanted to say that I pinned this open call by Pulsar on top of the space by I think it's by Pulsar and also by Art on Internet, another great community. So please check it out, guys. And yeah, if you like it, if you feed, if you would love to participate, don't sleep on that. And also follow Ro and Pulsar account. So yeah, show some love to them. They're doing great things. Fidel, it's an OG time.
Why did you have to say I'm not that old? I'm one of the oldest in here, but I'm not that old. No, I'll keep it quick. Just thanks for having me as always. It's a pleasure to share information and answer questions when I can, having the experience in the space, and I love to do that in my day job. I love to do it here. So I thank you for having me. And there's way too many people down in the audience that I recognize that I to say hi to. So just shout out to all of you guys down there. Thanks for coming to listen to us, and to the speakers as well for taking the time to share your points of view and your experiences so we can learn from those as well. So see you guys next time, man. Thanks a lot, Amir. And Nico, thanks so much.
And guys, don't forget to follow Fidel as well because he's dropping a lot of perspectives as a collector, as an artist, and as a curator as well. So as a different like sides of Fidel, of Fidel's soul, he's dropping a lot of cool things. Like really, I saw one tweet that really captured my eyes and touched my heart yesterday. So yeah, I don't want to say what it was. So please go to this account and check it out yourself. So, Nico, I think that only you left. But before we will go to Nico, please don't forget to show some love to ITIS Official, because those guys are actually helping us to collect more pieces of art that actually can do myself. So I'm pretty excited to collaborate with them on that short initiative. We also made a great open call together with them. So yeah, let me actually remind you, we had 10 winners, and we made a bid of 50 tests to all of them. So yeah, thanks to ITIS for that. Those guys are actually helping you to buy crypto with your bank card directly. So please go to itis.com and check out how it works. It's pretty simple. Not a financial advice for sure. Nico, please, it's your turn.
Yeah, I just want to thank everyone who joined us this evening. Thank you for giving us a little bit of your time, a bit of your wisdom, a bit of your experience. Yeah, super happy that everyone joined us. And yeah, please do join us next week. As we said, we are doing all things AVAX. And the week after that is another Solana space, organized by yours truly. So we are going to have all the Solana hooligans in here to come and tell you all about why we are excited for Breakpoint in Singapore. So definitely come and join us for that space. Super excited for that. But yeah, everyone, thank you for joining us. Amir, I think you can wrap us up now.
Yeah, but before we will do that, I'm always doing this, and I cannot even imagine like I'm saying thank you to everyone here in this space. So let me do so quickly. Thanks to Kaden and Nico, Itis, Leslie, Fidel, Pulsar, Viorica, Gul, Jackie, Ro, Taya, Tuko. Really, I will name everyone. Trust me. Nahid, Atiko, Meli, Alice T, Cosmonica, GMGM, Mazi, Bettina Jaffe, Dim Dam, my brother, GMTU, NYC, LSD, Ernesto, Nekomaru, Anna, Zubarev, GMGM, my friend, Sahara, Himi, Brilliant Art, uh, Jack Tuber, and on BLab, Terra, Bitcoins, my dear OG, GMTU, Elena Crow Art, Mayu Drops, Arastu, Tehu, GMGM, Camellia, Veronica, Sip of Coke, Ira, Parisa, Aterina, Sarah, Golnas, Vaxarus, Verka, um, Merilda. We also have Julio. We also have Sun, Miss Dev, um, sorry, XLab2DA, Jizzle, Jizzle CZSZN, Caseworks, Mocio, Pantea, Wing John, Archer, Zainab, Zoteya, Ayaz, Dani, Somaya, also Mariam. Also, we have Ira Lutsenko, we have Shimsa Art, we have Radin, Boomer, Vera, Bahare, Mahfa, Asti, Suleiman, Mahsa, Tamago, Arezo, Maggie, Layla, Ellen, RT, Firefly, Mojgan, Marigold, Michael, Robert, Dev, Gazal, Unmarked, Sleepyhead, Iris, Mohades, um, and we have Mitra. Thank you so much, guys, for being here with us today, this Wednesday. Next Wednesday, please don't forget to join the next art change space. Oh my God, it's so hard. I just, I just wanted to say that, Nico. Imagine if we will have 1,000 people in our space. What should I do in the end? Like naming everyone will take hour, I think. So I should stop doing this, man. Space. Okay, we have a lot of things to discuss with Nico this week. So yeah, thank you so much again, guys. It was a great space, and I'm super proud to have you all here. Thank you. See you next Wednesday. See you on timelines, and yeah, let's keep on creating art. Let's make this world better. Thank you. See ya. Bye bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Art Chains podcast. If you enjoyed it, give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and share the episode with your friends. It was me, your host, Amir, along with our amazing guests. Don't forget to listen to the Art Chains podcast on all streaming platforms. And thank you for being a creator.